AWS She Builds. We have a very special guest with us today. So Jeras, would you introduce yourself?
Of course, Jeras. I'm based out of San Francisco, California. Been with AWS now for a little over 7 years, and I lead the North America Technology Organization.
So I have to ask, what number reInvent is this for you?
Good question. Believe it or not, this is my 8th reInvent. So I'm actually, when you look at the number of reInvents we've had, this is our 12th reInvent all together for AWS, and this is my 8th one.
So what are you most excited for? I know it's number 8, but what is that top of mind thing that you enjoy?
Yeah, I think I'm going to probably narrow it down on 3 things. One, this is our customer conference event it's an educational event that we do for our customers. So the first thing for me is to be able to connect and network with our customers, hear their challenges, see how we can help them solve those and can help them innovate. So that's one. 2, when you look at the innovation that we have and when you look at the announcements we're going to be releasing, for example, SageMaker, we're going to have an app store, the multimodal models we're going to be releasing, our partnership with companies like Poolside, where they're going to be integrated straight with Bedrock. So a lot of announcements that you're going to be hearing today. I'm really excited about that. And then the third thing is the number of sessions that we have for our customers. I think we started with around 100 or so, 150 sessions in our first reInvent. And now we have thousands of sessions, I think close to 3,000 that our customers get to choose from. Those are the things I'm excited about.
That's awesome. So this being our AWS She Builds live from reInvent episode, I have to ask you, what is the one thing you think our AWS She Builders should walk away from reInvent with this week?
Yes, one thing. Maybe I'll say 2 things if you don't mind.
Okay, we could go with 2.
All right, 2. The first thing, as I mentioned earlier, this is our educational event. And I mentioned the number of sessions we have, the innovation that we're going to be releasing. So my advice is immerse yourself, right? This is the biggest educational event that we do in the whole year. Okay, so that's 1. 2, networking. Right, this is your time to actually build that network, find more mentors, build that type of stakeholder network that make you successful. So to me, as I said again, take advantage of this educational event, attend as many sessions as you can, and then network with as many people as you can.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time today. And let's get over to see some of our customer responses and fellow AWS leaders.
Hey everybody, I'm Candace Bohannon, and I'm really excited to be here today with Chris Kite, reInvent. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you work and what's your role?
Well, a little bit about me. I've been here at AWS for a little bit over 4 years. I'm based out of JFK, New York. And a little known fact about me is this is my 4th reInvent. And every time it's just ever more exciting.
That's awesome. What is your favorite thing about reInvent? Why do you like to be here?
I'd say 3 reasons. Number 1, I really enjoy getting to learn and be curious about some of our new product offerings. And oftentimes we're hearing about those new product offerings too. And we're learning with our customers, and it's really exciting. Second is our customers. It's so important for us to not only be out with customers, but to deeply be listening to what's happening, especially now with Gen AI and AI. A lot of is happening right now within our customers. And then 3, it's really nice to see our colleagues. We get a chance to see our colleagues across the globe. So those are the 3 things. Learn and be curious, absolutely be out with our customers, and 3, being out with our colleagues like you, Candace.
I love it. That's great. Is there a certain session that you're looking forward to this year?
Well, we've really grown in our sessions. It seems like each year there's more and more sessions. But my favorite session is going to be on Thursday, and it's going to be Women in Technology at the CXO level. And we're going to be focusing on women in AI and some of the innovations that have been led by women in this really exciting new, well, not so new technology, but Gen AI certainly is new. So we're really looking forward to, at least I am, that Women in Tech event and bringing these fabulous women together, our customers, our partners, our colleagues, to really have a thoughtful discussion around AI and what that means to us.
Yeah, I love that. It's one of my favorite areas too. So definitely looking forward to that. And Thanks so much for being here, Chris.
Thank you, Candace.
All right, so I would like to welcome back Anna-Rena. Please introduce yourself for the team.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anna-Rena Komjenovic, and I am Executive Vice President, Strategic Alliance Management at Valantic, and Valantic is an AWS partner. Happy to hear it.
Yes, we're excited to have you. And one of the things I always like to ask, and you know this one for sure, is how many times have you been to reInvent?
This is my second time.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And then what are you most excited for?
Obviously, meeting with people. I'm like, this is such a great opportunity to meet so many people from all over the world and network. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's how we met, which I always love when we get to do this.
Exactly.
So next question for you, is there a session you're most looking forward to that our audience should pay attention to?
Yes, absolutely. And now I need to sort of, absolutely. And it's the session by Victoria Sigmund and Linda Mohammed. And it's called Dev TO1. It's called Build Amazon Q Apps to Scale and Drive Community Engagement. These two ladies are absolutely phenomenal. Just don't miss this session.
And we already know that you love your community and building the engagement and all the things you've done for women in tech, She Builds, things of that nature. So I feel like that's right up your alley.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like AWS community is the best, and Linda is an AWS hero as well, and she's very active in the community in EMEA.
That's awesome. And I know you're going to be doing more global. I know you're very active in EMEA already, so I'm excited as your new venture plans out and how you're able to impact globally. I know you're still impacting globally. Us being US, you being EMEA, it's like we're best friends anyway. So
Exactly.
awesome. I know we have short time today, but I'm super excited that we got to interview you again, and I look forward to our networking and conversations throughout reInvent.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Candace Bohannon, one of the She Builds core team members, and I'm really excited to be here at reInvent with my new friend Sierra. Sierra, how are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself and where you work.
Yeah, so I work at Huddle. I'm a software engineer for just full stack products and love it there. So it's a sports tech company.
That's awesome. I'm very interested in sports. Hockey is my favorite, but I think you guys are doing some really cool stuff. How many times have you been to reInvent?
So this is actually my first time at reInvent. Super excited to be here. Absolutely loving it. So much to take in and so much more that I'm so excited to see.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you get to be here. I think there's so much combination of learning all day and like having fun all night, replay party. So excited. All right. What is your favorite announcement? What do you think is the very coolest thing you've heard about so far?
Yeah, I'm really excited for Unified SageMaker. So being able to have analytics, data, and also being able to have Bedrock Studio in an easily accessible way for everybody across the company. I think it'll just enable so much more creativity and iteration.
Yeah, I think that's a great one too. I'm really excited about that one as well. I'm also really excited that we have met, and I hope that you get to be on a future episode of She Builds with us.
I'd love to.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Welcome. Hi, everyone. We're right at the Expo today at reInvent. We're surrounded by a whole bunch of booths from AWS and a lot of our partners. My name is Yusra. I'm a solutions architect here at AWS, based out of Toronto, Canada, and joined with Emily. Hi. Hi. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Emily, and I'm a software development manager at Coveo. What we do at Coveo is we do ML search. So we bring ML to your applications, to your websites, to help you search for content. And then we have two main lines of business, being customer support and e-commerce. So yeah, my team runs MLOps tooling, and yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks. And is this your first reInvent?
It is, yeah.
Amazing. What was your experience like so far? How are you liking it?
It's been really fun. This Expo hall is great. Lots of different vendors to talk to and cool technologies to learn about. The sessions are awesome. And just meeting great people. It's been fun.
That's awesome. It's easy to get lost in as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what's been your favorite thing so far? What's been the highlight of your reInvent experience? We're about halfway through with a day and a half left. What's been the highlight so far?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the keynote this morning from Jeras. So very AI oriented, lots of cool features announced. Some of them around SageMaker, SageMaker Unified Studio I'm very excited about. other stuff around HyperPod training for SageMaker. It's been a really good keynote.
Awesome. Yeah.
Wonderful. And are there any specific sessions that you're looking forward to, or that you've attended so far and have just been key, memorable?
Yeah, so great sessions for machine learning. I saw some for SageMaker, MLOps and FMOps on Monday morning. I also some for training ML models on EKS yesterday. But I'm also looking forward to another one tomorrow about training, I believe, with SageMaker and Bedrock maybe as well. Some good sessions.
Amazing. Yeah. And are they a mix of workshops and chalk talks, or mainly?
Yeah, some builder sessions, some chalk talks, a little bit of everything.
Amazing. Yeah. Awesome. And what has been the coolest announcement that you've heard so far?
Coolest announcement, yeah, I think SageMaker Unified Studio I'm really excited about, to bring more data management and more views of the data into SageMaker. My team has been using SageMaker Studio and we love it, so having that will be really amazing.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Emily, for joining us, and enjoy the rest of reInvent.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, we've got another great customer interview today. I'm here with Amber. Would you tell us who you are, where do you work, what's your role?
Amber Kiselbosch. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Lennox Spark Solutions. We're a tech company, deals in data analytics for our clients, and our mission is democratization of access to opportunity.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I didn't know that mission. I love that a lot. Very cool.
Thank you.
How many times have you been to reInvent?
First time.
Woo! Welcome. How
Thank
much
you.
fun is this? Last day. Are
So
you
fun.
exhausted?
Not thinking about it too much.
It's the way to do it.
Eating cotton candy, as you saw.
As you should.
I
Push the sugar up. Well, tell us, what is your favorite thing that you've seen or done so far?
So, what I loved the most was the access to knowledge, but given in a way that people can learn in their way. And so what I love is the democratization of learning, actually, which is in line with our mission statement, and the opportunity to do it either knowledge transfer, and you can go straight from that to building. And so, there's no gap there. And it's the first conference I've been to that does that, which is superb. I love that.
Thank you. This has always been my favorite conference, too. I've been to a few others back in the day,
Yeah.
but I love this.
I do
conference,
too.
So.
Thank you.
What do you think was the coolest announcement?
Oh my gosh. So I saw the two keynotes. So Peter DeSantis and then Dr. Vogel. And between them, what I loved was their ability to take complex systems, processes, products, and simplify it to the point where you digest it and you can act on it straight away. So for us, for our innovation piece, that is intrinsically important, and everything that they talked about, the new chip and how that's going to make things more seamless, more secure, and then taking that and adding Anthropic to it. Boom. That was amazing. So
That's great. I love that you hit on so many of our leadership principles. First of all, we are customer obsessed, so very happy you're here. The learn and be curious, invent and simplify. So you're kind of picking up on some of our leadership principles and the way we work. So I'm really glad that you're here.
Security, cost optimization, my favorites, brought up several times.
As they should.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, great. I guess we will see
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Thank you for speaking to me. Thank you.
Hello, hello. We're not at reInvent anymore, are we?
We're not. We're not. We're home. We're recovered.
You're recovered? I don't think I'm recovered yet.
Mostly. Yeah.
But yes, so we wanted to hop on live. I know we didn't get to go live at reInvent, which we normally do. It was just a really quick week. For those of you who haven't been, it is very long and very fun, but it's also a lot to go through. So making sure that you have everything and you're in the right place and those different things. So I'm going to kick us off. Just give us a little intro. We will have a little surprise guest coming to interview us in a moment or two. But I am Brittany Wolfram. You may know me from this channel, being one of your AWS She Builds hosts. And I had the pleasure of going to reInvent for my second time as an AWS employee, which was great. And Candace, go ahead and intro yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Candace Bohannon, and I'm a solutions architect at AWS. Actually, a product solutions architect. And that was my 5th time going to reInvent. So I feel like I'm somewhat of a professional. If you need any tips, in addition to the article that Brittany posted, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn and things like that. But it is definitely a lot of fun. It is the epitome of work hard, have fun, make history. You know, we work really hard throughout the day. And then we have fun in the evening, especially the replay party. And there's always great announcements throughout the whole thing. So very, very fun.
So before we get started with the interview and actually having our special guest come interview us, let's talk a little bit about the different types of attendees and how that works. So I was going to say, all 5 years, have you been an employee for all 5 years, or did you go to?
Yeah, good call. No, my first 2 times I was a customer, and it's a bit more fun as a customer. And then these last 3 times I've been here at AWS.
Awesome. So I've had the pleasure to attend once as a customer and twice as an employee. I think we should talk a little bit about that though, because I get a lot of questions this reInvent about how it differs and how it changes. We also have another type that you can attend as. You can attend as a partner as well. So you have different varieties of how you attend. So I would say let's talk about attending as a customer, and then we'll talk about the employee partner side. But Candace, how was your experience as a customer attending?
Um, Way better. It's super fun still as an employee, but as a customer, your account team kind of hosts you. And so you're going to have dinners to go to every night. They'll make sure that you're getting into the fun partner parties. You get to go to the sessions. That's a thing that I understand why we're not allowed in the sessions. We need to make sure that our customers get in there first. But as an employee, we don't get to go to those sessions. So I do kind of miss learning in real time, because that's what you can do as a customer. And as an employee, you're kind of like scrambling to keep up with the announcements and catching up the week after. So that's kind of what I've been doing since I've gotten back, besides catching up on sleep and the transition of time zones and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a curated based off what your goals are as a customer versus an employee. We are kind of spanning multiple different engagements. So from the employee side for reInvent, it may differ a little bit from person to person, but I would say for me, I did about 20 different customer meetings, so 20 different unique meetings. And then we also do the She Builds stuff, which you all know that we do and love. So for She Builds, we did different recordings, got to meet with some of our leaders as well as some of our customers that have been new to us, but also who have some of our folks who have been interviewed before, which is always fun. And then last but not least, it did have some social engagements that I was responsible for doing. And I think the difference between the customer attending as a customer or a partner and then attending as an employee is the social engagements, it's still work. So it feels a little bit different. Like I'm not going to cut loose and have a drink and hang out. I'm going to talk about business at the same time, get to know my customer or my partner on more of a personal level, get those connections going, because I would say for my role, most of my engagements are done virtually. So when we're in person, it's really that shaking hands, sitting together, talking about like the different announcements, talking about the different things coming up in the new year and how we can help and engage and kind of strategy planning, which is a lot of fun. But I will also say every night when I got back to my room, I was frantically going through my notes, tons of follow-ups, and just trying to make sure everything from my brain is going onto a paper, because it's about 10x the speed of what I'm used to working as.
Yeah, for sure. When I was there this year, of course, the She Build stuff, we saw some of that here. We will post some of the Builders Fair videos at some point in the near future. I still need to edit those together. But so that was a lot of work for me. I also participated in something called the All Builders Welcome Grant this year as a mentor, which was amazing. This program, I didn't actually know that it existed, and I'm so thankful that I got to participate as a mentor. But what it is people early in their career or college students get to apply to this grant. I don't know how many people win or anything. You can Google it and find these answers. But they get all expenses paid pass to reInvent. And then they get special treatment, like special sessions. They get this speed networking session. And so I I participated in 2 of these speed networking sessions. So I sat at a table with like 4 to 8 early career individuals, and we just talked about how can you be successful in this career? How did you get into AWS and different things like that? And I really love encouraging early in career people, especially underrepresented people in technology. That is my jam, and that is exactly what this was. So I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And any of you who are early in your career, definitely look into that grant, see if you can get in. And then in addition to that, I've talked about it before, I got to give my first actual talk this year. It was a lightning talk in the Expo hall. Thank you. Thank you. It was amazing. It was about responsible AI, bringing together some of my favorite stuff like diversity, equity, and inclusion in technology. So it was about bias detection and remediation in large language models. It was really chaotic because it was in the Expo hall, but there were friends and in the crowd and people I didn't know, and we chatted afterwards as well. And that was recorded. I haven't seen the recording yet. I will probably post it on LinkedIn. And if not, you can Google it and find it. If I don't post it on LinkedIn, it might be because it's not great, but I think it was fine. I was really nervous at first, and then it just started going like I do. So that's what I got to do this time. And it was a very different experience this time, because for me, it was less of the customer engagements this time, being a product essay. So anyways, every year is a little bit different, and this year was the most different for me.
I would say though too, I have a feeling you're going to do that talk at potentially one of the summits this year, because it's going to become more and more relevant. I think it's a hot topic now, but also what you've been working on is pretty cool. So I don't know if there's any key things that we can just kind of lay out from the talk. Any highlights we want to give the team? Is there a highlight that you're like, this is my favorite part of my presentation, that we'll call it a spoiler alert?
Yeah, sure. So the whole premise of it is really that models are inherently, they have bias in them. They can't be we as people are not perfectly unbiased. We all have a bias, conscious or unconscious, and it's just a fact of life. And then when we start looking at these large language models that are, they're trained with like the entire internet or something like that. The internet is not always a safe place. It's not always a responsible place. So some of the information that's being fed into these models to train them results in the model's output being somewhat biased. So that's really like the whole premise of it. And then so I talk about different ways of detecting that. It is really like an opaque box. We don't let you see what's inside these large language models, but there are ways that we can detect it. And then we've had a few new, in fact, I'm going to talk just really quickly about one of my favorite announcements around responsible AI. I'm trying to dive into these more this week. But something that I thought was super cool, and I didn't get to integrate it into my slide deck, but I did mention it in the presentation, is this automated reasoning checks, which are a new guardrail available on Bedrock. I believe just in preview for now, but it's mathematically proving that the output from the model is mathematically accurate. And so I love math. And so this is a very exciting thing for me, I think. And it's also a way that we can start to prevent some of these hallucinations, which is when these large language models just give you some kind of crazy information. They kind of hallucinate. So that was one of my favorite announcements. And I cannot wait to get my hands on that.
Same. I think the other thing that you're bringing up is like, yes, freedom of speech is amazing. Love it. But I think with the freedom of speech that we have, there are a lot of things posted on the internet. Kind of doubling down into that, there's so much there that can be explored, but also can be, we'll call it interesting. To dive into responsible AI a little bit further too, recently I had a model hallucinate, and I actually asked it, which is fun if you've ever done this, where did you get that data from, or are you hallucinating? And the model actually responded back and said, oh, well, due to the parameters you have set up, this was a hallucination based off the information I've learned. And I was like, ooh, great. I need to go back and button up my parameters a little bit more, which was really fun.
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, we do have a special guest that's going to be joining us on stage in a moment, and she is going to do her intro, and this will be Esther's first AWS She Builds live stream. Esther, welcome to the stage. Let us know who you are. What do you do?
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Esther King. I am a solutions architect in the CSC organization supporting small to medium businesses. It is a pleasure to be here and to be joined by both you, Brittany and Candace here today. So I'm excited to learn a little bit about your experiences at reInvent this year.
Awesome. So we're actually going to let Esther do the interviewing, which for Candace and I is not normal to be on the other end of it. But Esther, go ahead, take it away. Ask us the questions you have. Chat, feel free to throw it in there if you have additional questions that you want us to answer.
Yeah, I think the first thing I really want to dive into is, what were the most exciting announcements or product launches that happened for you, at reInvent this year, 2024?
Well, I jumped the gun on that just a little bit. Responsible AI makes me really, really excited, but I'm excited about everything. It's a whole fun game that we can play. Like, how many times do I say I'm excited? So I already talked a little bit about the automated reasoning checks within the guardrails. I think that's really fascinating, and I want to play with it. I'm gonna try to learn more about it this week and play with it next week. That's my goal there. And then also related to that is this whole next gen Amazon SageMaker. So we made some changes in there last year, but now with this new generation of Amazon SageMaker, it's a whole unified platform for your data analytics, machine learning, foundation models, all of these sorts of things. So what you could do with SageMaker, we still have all of those, but now we also have SageMaker Lakehouse, where we can connect into like your Redshift and whatnot. We also have integrated, I think, Athena and Glue, where you can do all of the same stuff in one spot. So I feel like that's going to make it a lot easier for our AI ML practitioners and data engineers, because before you kind of had to go into the console and SageMaker and back and forth like that. So I'm really excited about that. And if I didn't say it, we also have another piece that's called, I don't think I said it, Bedrock Studio, which is also part of this whole unified platform. I've barely touched it so far. I did read that blog that I just posted, and I'm going to play with that soon too.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I was, follow-up question was going to be, have you gotten into the console yet to start playing around with any of those new features and rollouts? Because, after reInvent, it's a lot. So it's kind of like as soon as you get home, when you have a minute, did you lock in? Did you get in?
Not yet.
No,
I haven't even done my laundry yet. So I'm still catching up.
I will say,
Oh,
my luggage is still in the corner, but I have a builder day on Friday where I have 2 other Gen AI enthusiasts with me, where we're actually building something new for our internal use, which will be pretty cool. And we're going to get to use a couple of the things Candace has been talking about, which I'm excited for. But hands on keyboard has not happened yet. I'm still digging out of the hundreds of emails.
Right.
Yes, the pains of trying to climb out to get back is definitely there. So then, Brittany, I'm curious to know what you think the most exciting announcements were at reInvent this year.
It's so hard to pick 1 or 2 exact ones, and with all of the articles that keep coming up, I keep picking more and more. I have to agree, the SageMaker ones are probably one of my top ones, with SageMaker, next gen of SageMaker, to go off of Candace. But I will say during our next live, I will probably have a couple of more favorites. But if you haven't seen, I know Aaron Hunter just shared on his Instagram and LinkedIn a really cool top 10 from his view. I don't know, Candace, maybe we should do a top 10 from our view and our roles. I think I like that. I think there was over 150 announcements, and I think I'm about 75% of the way through. But and that's just reading the announcement itself and maybe a handful of ideas.
Yeah.
So really
trying to catch up and stay relevant with all the new rollout and announcements. Yeah, it's been a lot, and it's been fun. Then to ask you, because you said maybe both of you should come up with your top 10. What's your top 3?
Oh, so okay, we'll go top 3. My top 3 would be next gen SageMaker, the data lineage, I guess, capabilities would probably my number 2. So that's going to be the next gen of DataZone and SageMaker.
And then I'm going to go back to the automated reasoning, which Candace already kind of talked a little bit about, because I think that's another one that would be like, it's like day zero. It's something we need, but the fact that we're able to automate it and help with that process, and I've seen so many different areas where we worked with our customers on this, it's extremely important. So
Yeah, mine are very similar. I am a data nerd. Like my presentation was around this sort of stuff. Like this is my jam. And I just feel like we're on this precipice of a step change with all of these amazing models that have been coming out, including our one that is brand new from us, which is Amazon Nova. And this had the thing that I think is super cool about this, again, haven't touched it, but according to, I think this was in Matt Garman's keynote. Andy Jassy may have been the one to actually talk about it. I kind of don't remember. But what's really cool about Nova specifically is that you can do, some of these models will be like text to image, like Stable Diffusion. You give it some text and it'll give you an image. Nova can do that. It can also do video, and it can do, at least like early next year, I think, it can do any to any. So give it a video and it'll give you a summary. Give it like, make me a video that says blah, 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 and it can create a video. Like the same model can do all of that. And of course, we always talk about leading with price and performance with all of our services. So this is another really cool one that I think is worth calling out and kind of adding in. So I don't think we're counting properly. We will come back to top 10, top 3.
I'm going to say another one too that I just remembered. Bedrock Guardrails Multimodal Toxicity Detection. That one looks super cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm ready to apply that into a couple of the different Bedrock items that I have running today in my console to see how it works.
Awesome. Yeah.
That sounds exciting. Now, so Candace, you mentioned the keynote. I'm curious, were you able to listen in, any highlights or takeaways, or follow up from that? Did you get to attend any sessions, or
She was super special. Like she got some top secret stuff that she got to do at reInvent that I have never even heard of.
I did. I don't even know. I got this email and it says, "Hey, this is like a select group of people. Would you like to attend Matt Garman's keynote?" And I'm like,
wow.
Yes. We're not allowed in any of these normally. So I was very excited. I had to wake up extremely early to get there. But there were maybe like less than 50 or something, mostly SA solutions architects. And we got invited to go to the keynote. And so I got to attend Matt Garman's keynote. I saw Jassy come out on stage, fangirled a bit, spilled my coffee. It was amazing. So that was a super special event. Not many, I don't know how you get invited. I'm thankful, and not many of us get in. So
I was just about to say, how do you do it? Where do I sign up?
No clue.
When do I sign up?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So, because you're right, I don't believe like until we actually get access to the sessions, but were there any session titles that may have stood up to you, or workshops?
One of my,
I was going to say we could cheat on this one. Which one do you want to go with first? I have a feeling we might do the same ones.
No, I bet not. So I'm going to talk about my friend Kevin Hawkinson and Jenna Pedersen and someone else. I'm sorry, I don't know you, but I know those two people really well. And they did, I don't remember what kind of session it was, but it was using Gen AI to create architecture diagrams, like mermaid architecture diagrams, and back and forth. So I love the idea of leveraging Q and other large language models to make a developer's life easier. Mm-hmm. And so that session, I'll see if I can Google it really quickly and find at least the name of it and drop it in here. And then Kevin or Jenna, maybe you're watching, post on LinkedIn or somewhere, post us your session title or maybe your repo or something like that. But I thought that one was absolutely fascinating.
I'll definitely take the repo if possible.
Yeah.
So I have two, and we actually went different routes. So I'm going to go the executive summit route because I had the pleasure of participating in two different events there. And I would say my first one, in no particular order, I'm not playing favorites, would be the Cloud Transformation Success Lessons Learned from a C-Suite. So this is roundtables for executives that went through and talked about discussions from modernization, migration, and anything from experience-based acceleration. I may be cheating a little bit because that's my day job, but it was awesome to hear from Monty Hall, the CTO over at Blackstone, Raghu, our head of cloud services over at Hartford, Rashid, who is over in Attain, and then also any of the F1 fans over there. We had one of our F1 GM, excuse me, the GM of architecture for Portrays Digital over there as well. And that was awesome because they talked about their experience in how to accelerate their cloud journey and kind of talk through what went right, what went wrong, what were pivotal points. It was very like wear your heart on a sleeve, talk about what went well and what didn't go well. And it was awesome there. But then I got the pleasure to interview 3 executives with Jeras, who you've seen at the beginning of this video. And that was experience-based acceleration fireside chat. And with that one, we actually interviewed Jack Hunt, the CTO of Ability, Chase Christensen, the VP of Information Technology at Jabil, and then Taylor Neal, the VP of Global Cloud Infrastructure at Warner Music. And my favorite quote from that event was, "Lift and shifts are like slapping the cloud gods in the face." Amen. Because if you simply do a lift and shift, you are never going to get the cloud benefits, the true cloud benefits. And I have never high-fived another panelist on the stage, but I can tell you I high-fived a panelist on the stage, and I will probably be getting t-shirts made for our group because we thought that was so true because each executive talked about their experience and how everything went. But we all agreed on if you simply do a lift and shift and nothing after that, you're not going to gain any of your cloud benefits. So you really, that's not what the cloud is for. Lift and shift, and then you have to modernize and make sure you're optimizing for what you really want to do with your cloud journey. Awesome.
So I do want to ask, if there was any interesting interactions, because you just talked about one, but was there anything else that happened, maybe with another customer or with, another colleague that was kind of memorable for you throughout the whole experience?
Brittany, you go first. I'm getting Jenna's LinkedIn and dropping it in here.
Okay. I would say memorable is getting the connections. So for instance, Anarina's second reInvent was my second reInvent as an AWS employee. And the fact that we get to have conversations and bring her on stage on our virtual stage to talk through like what she's doing and how she's growing is always great. And it has to be the hallway conversations or like the walking conversations. Great example. Day 1, Monday, I had to walk from Park MGM to the Venetian. That's about 1.25 miles-ish. I walked down the strip and seen over 10 of my colleagues. And these are people, some I have never seen in person before. I also ran into 2 of my old customers, an old employee of mine, and standing there and having a conversation for 5 to 10 minutes to just talk through like, hey, where are you at? What are you doing? How's everything going? Let's catch up. Let's grab coffee, that kind of thing. There's no way to do that anywhere else. I think that 66,000 of us in one location is crazy, but it was a great experience to be able to have that. But I would say the comment or the quote is my favorite so far, but a second best would be I walked right past a group of folks that I work with on a daily basis and didn't realize it until they came back and kind of like scared me. Because they're like, how did you not realize we were there?
It could happen. There's a lot of people usually. So it's kind of like you start blurring everyone out, get tunnel vision.
Oh yeah.
What about
I was on a mission.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to name a few of them. Why do we always have a top 3? Okay. So one of them was after my presentation. 2 of them are after my presentation. A guy from McKinsey came up and was like, let's talk about responsible AI. I'm working on these things and like, what are we going to do? And all of these sorts of things. So that was a super interesting conversation to hear a little bit more about what they're doing and, have a little like hallway conversation with a brand new colleague and peer in the same space of responsible AI and understanding bias and things like that. Also in that talk afterwards, one of my old colleagues came up and talked to me. He works at Chewy now, but he was on my team at 3M when he was fresh out of school. His name is Alex Guckenberger. That was so great to see him. He's like, Candace. I'm like, oh my gosh, Alex, you're here. So I was really excited to see him as well. And then sitting on the shuttle. So I stayed at MGM or Mandalay Bay, opposite end of most everything. I mean, there was stuff happening at Mandalay Bay, but most things for me were at the Venetian. So every morning I got to take a shuttle over, and then in the evening I had to go. So that was amazing. Thank you for the shuttles. And it was a great opportunity to like meet people. Every time I sat on the shuttle, I chatted with my seat neighbor because I'm a chatty Cathy, I guess. But this one guy, we were walking into the Mandalay Bay together and just started like chatting. It turns out he had some Gen AI demos in the expo hall that are related to what I am working on. And I was like, excuse me, what's your name? Like, how do we not know each other already? So this is a huge company. I don't know how many people work here. 60,000 whatever people go to reInvent. And me and this guy should have met before through work type of things. And we met on a shuttle. So I need to follow up with him today as well. So it's just kind of crazy the people and conversations that you get to have and the happy accidents that sometimes happen.
Yeah, I do think just to echo both on what you both had mentioned about just the networking piece and the in-person and the connections that you get to make. It's truly something beautiful about reInvent, and what a great opportunity, right? Then kind of as like the last question, right, to close things out, I want to ask the both of you, what were your biggest takeaways from reInvent from 2024?
So I've been trying to summarize this, and I have used this quote a couple times in different shows, but I think it stays true. The only constant in life is change, and that is the biggest thing with technology that I think in my it's more than 10 years now. Let's not talk about that. My years in technology, I think the biggest thing that I always come back from reInvent with is all of the different changes, all of the different things that we're able to make the pathway through. And I think when I look back at 2023 reInvent to 2024 and the amount of changes and updates and advancements we've made are crazy. So my biggest takeaway is always the only constant in life is change by our Greek philosophers. So Candace, what would yours be?
Let me add yes and to you.
Yes, Aaron. Where's Aaron at?
Yeah. So this is definitely a yes and. Yes, change is always happening. It's one of my favorite things about tech. We're never done learning. I love learning new stuff. And so I love this. I do feel like going back to a thing that I said a little bit earlier in the show, we are on this precipice of change, like a big step change. Like half of the announcements, I'm making up numbers, don't listen to me, but like half of the announcements were around AI, ML, LLMs. Like this is a big deal and a big change that's happening in the world today, and a lot of opportunity to make sure that we're doing it in the right way. So I don't know. I just love the learning. That's always a whole lot of fun. And I am also definitely have my ear to the ground on how we're going to continue to innovate and develop new technologies in the space of AI. It's a really exciting time as far as I can tell. And like the whole with great power comes great responsibility. That quote always pops up in my head when we're talking about these sorts of things. So I would say that's probably my answer there.
Well, Brittany, Candace, I thank you so much for sitting in the opposite seat today and allowing me to interview you. I definitely can relate with the points and the sentiments made about how, like we said, reInvent is a great opportunity in time and space to make those connections, both internally with fellow peers as well as customers, and get that real interaction, create those relationships. But, also, Candace, thank you for sharing about your experience. And being able to attend in person a keynote, get to fangirl over Andy Jassy and unreal. And thank you for this opportunity to ask you the questions and kind of share and learn from the both of you. So I
think we'll have to have you back.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Looking forward to just seeing more from She Builds, as well as hearing from the both of you. So have a great
rest of the day. Feel free to email us any topics, or if you'd like to be a interviewee, be interviewed by one of us, feel free. Subscribe on YouTube, and also remember to connect with us on LinkedIn. Talk about the different topics and how Maybe you've seen something different than we seen in the announcements. Maybe you're going from the bottom up of the list of different reInvent announcements, and you were like, hey, let's talk about this. But without further ado, this is the AWS She Builds team, and we will see you next time.
Bye.